low definition for the win.
Yeah, I think I need to stick with low definition. I don't know. I look better in high def.
Well, of course you do.
But my background looks better in high def too. It's not even blurred at this point. Like you can tell exactly what stuff is where.
I'm just glad I finally got my background fixed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to the live stream.
We are live.
Oh, yeah, baby, I clicked go live.
You would do that. Yeah.
Of course I would.
Of course you would.
Yeah. Welcome to a special.
There we go.
You got it. Now there you go. Now you're cooking. I like the fireplace. Fireplace looks nice.
Right.
Is that
this
piano?
Is I think I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, it looks classy. Yeah. I like it. Okay. Doug just classed his basement up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Now, pretty instant. Follow me for more tips.
Welcome to a live stream. This is, I think, technically our third overall live stream. It's really our second, but technically I think it's our third. And it's sort of on the fly. We didn't mean to live stream tonight. We were just going to talk about Australia and some fun things. And then my daughter decided to do my hair tonight. As you can see, she did an in-depth and colorful job with it. Mm-hmm. I'm rocking all the way around here.
I was going to say, let's see the complete back so you can get everything. Well, okay, now your head is hollow from your virtual background. There it is. All right, we got all of it.
We're good. A lot of yellow back there. She did me blonde.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're rocking some very different colors that I'm really hoping will wash out when I get in the shower when we're done here. Otherwise, I'm going to work tomorrow looking very colorful. It's going to be.
I was just saying, 20 years. What did they use? Like Johnson baby colors?
No, some hair chalk thing that my Aunt Terry sent the kids for Halloween to play with and have fun with. So,
do you have cancer? Did you use hair chalk in the 2020s?
Let's not deal with that. Let's not
you
even
be entitled to compensation.
I'm already going to have that from the COVID vaccination. So, I mean, what am I worried about hair chalk?
Actually, what's probably going to happen is you're going to like keel over in 7 years and they're going to test high toxin amounts of whatever. and you'll be part of what leads to the class action lawsuit, but you'll be gone.
Oh, maybe they'll name something after me. That would be fun.
I don't think that's what you want.
No, I don't. But I mean, if I'm going to go, you might as well name something after me.
Tom's Law.
Oh, yeah, that can't be good. Tom's Razor. Yeah. Oh boy, well, this is fun. Good. I'm glad we got the live stream going. Yeah. Welcome everybody who's going to tune in, who's going to watch the replay. Because we're still 10 follows short on the Two Dads Talking Podcast Facebook profile. This is actually streaming on my profile publicly, and hopefully Doug will share it so that we can attract his people in. And we'll download it and then upload it to the Two Dads Talking channel, and probably release it as a podcast next week.
Yeah.
If you're tuning in, my internet is finally working. My computer is finally unpacked. We are officially moved into a non-possessed house. I've got 2 odds that I pulled up off the hard drive and fired up and put up there. I've got 1 more that I think I'm going to edit just a little bit before I post it. And I've got another short story coming soon. So we do have content that's being added to the Patreon. And we have a thank you, a shout out. Justin, won't mention the last name there, but thank you for joining the week 11 level of our Patreon subscriber list. And we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining. It's awesome. Doug's got the heartsies for you, and here I am posing with a multicolored beard and eyebrows and hair. So I feel like you've already got your money's worth. But thank you very much.
Party starting.
The odd that launches tomorrow is a level up for poker. It turned out to be about 40 minutes long. I thought I could do it in 20, but it turned out to be 40. It's 5 simple tips. It's my general overview for playing live stakes, low stakes live, no limit hold'em. It's pretty much my game plan and what I think people need to do to take themselves from the I always lose money stage of playing live poker to the, oh, look, I'm winning money now. And if you are a winning player, then hopefully you're already doing most of these things. But I think some of these things can probably help you out. I'm really, really happy to share some of these tips and get some things on there. And maybe I'll attract some more poker students. Who knows?
And we'll see how this does for me, because Tom has actually not shared any of these with me officially on the side. So I'm going to be absorbing this like anybody else. And I'm exactly in the middle of the people he just mentioned. I'm always the bubble guy if you're in a little tournament format, I'm always in literally the last person or the last 2 or 3 people to not get into the money. I play just well enough live that I win money half-ish the time that I play. And then the other half, I'm losing anywhere between $5 and $200. So I think I'm the person where over the long haul, I probably lose an average of like $5 to $10, a session if you average it all out. So I'm like, will it push me over the top or not? I don't know. We'll see if I can get
as long as you're drinking, 15-ish drinks during your session, you're actually profiting money there, right?
Yes.
Just make sure you're getting 15 free drinks in while you're losing $5 to $10, and you're good.
Well, I had to go to the bathroom a lot when I was going to the casino more often because I was just shoving down Diet Cokes. All right, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. We got something special tonight in honor of Beardy, who still hasn't reached out to me. Beardy, you down under wackadoodle. Remember, you owe me your life, and you're bonded to me, and you need to reach out and tell me how the story ended.
She is not apples right now over here, Beardy.
Yeah,
and unbeardies. That's all. That's all, Tara.
Yeah, really, any of you can reach out. I'll be happy, and we'll bring you on the cast. It'll be fun. You can tell the story from your perspective. That would probably be really hilarious.
That would be way better.
Yeah, I think that would be good to see how they vary and see just to hear you say it would be great. But yes, tune in, find us, please respond, shoot us an email. Our email is in all the links. You can hit us at instant message on social media. Any way you want to get a hold of us. 3 of you have my phone number saved in your phone. Just friggin' reach out.
What if Beardy snapped though? Like it was just too much for him to take, and now he's like, rocking back and forth in a corner, and they all blame you for it, and that's why they haven't reached out.
Like I said, lose my number, forget I exist. You don't know me. I don't know any of you. Just
not to take things to the opposite extreme and be completely realistic.
No, I want that story too. Like I really do want that story too. That might be the more entertaining one, even if it's darker. No, I think what really happened. I think I got catfished. I think that they were all imposter Venezuelan or New Zealand actors, and they perpetrated a hoax on me because Australia doesn't actually exist. No. It's not a real country. It's not a real place.
But New Zealand does.
New Zealand does. And honestly, the theory goes that New Zealand wanted to rid itself of its worst offenders and its the dregs of its society. And so it rounded up like the 100 or 150 of its worst people and told them it was deporting them. And then actually just sent them to an abandoned city and created like the first fishbowl and started like observing these people from a distance and tricking them into thinking it had deported them to an island called Australia. That's one of the 2 leading theories about Australia.
I was going to say that is not the one I'm familiar with. Well, good.
No, the other one is England deporting its criminals, and that's probably the other one. They actually killed them instead of putting them on an island, but they didn't want to admit they killed them. So that's the other theory. Yeah. Is that
that's England, the one that I didn't realize.
Well, there's a couple.
I didn't realize
there's a couple if you go deep.
Yep,
there's a Truman Show alternative, and that one's fun, and that one blames New Zealand. The other one that Doug heard is, England took its worst criminals and put them on a boat.
More mainstream.
And it told people it was sending them to Australia to like a penal colony, but really it just dumped them all off in the middle of the ocean, and they didn't want the world to know. They just murdered all these people. So they told people they dropped them off on an island called Australia. And eventually the world was like, oh, cool, Australia, that's a place. And then Britain had to perpetrate this hoax ad eternum and fool the world forever. So
there is a large subset of those people. Ooh, my goodness, excuse me. There's a large subset of those people that are also flat earthers. So they think that Britain actually sailed these people over the edge of the earth and killed them, but said they were sailing them to a far-off island that now they have to act like still exists.
Yeah, because flat earthers possess all the logic.
Not just in the middle of the ocean. So, whoop, just gone.
If you dig deep on this, actually, flat earthers, the popularity of the flat earth theory, like 2006 to 2018, really coincides with popularity on this one. And a big part of it is because the southern hemisphere kind of poses a problem for flat earthers. Like the southern hemisphere in itself disproves a lot of what they're trying to say.
Yeah,
because things rotate in different directions. Right. So the easiest way to deal with that is to deny it.
Then this other hemisphere that's a problem just doesn't exist. It's obviously. Yes. is.
Yep, and that's how you deal with it. So we're going to watch a couple of videos. Rag Reynolds is probably the most infamous perpetrator of this on all of the internet. And Doug hadn't seen these before I brought it up. As far as, have you watched any since? Or is this all going to be first time view?
Not this one. I kept running into the videos of people talking about the fake, so that the response to, but no, I did not get this one. No, so
okay. This is a good one. So you guys get to get Doug's raw reaction. This guy firmly hates Australians, and then eventually comes around to believe that, you know what, the reason I hate Australians is because Australia is not real. People perpetrated the hoax on me, and they're just not real. And he went on a really incredible campaign and has racked up tens of thousands of subscribers and followers and hundreds of thousands of views. It's really impressive. So hello to Rag Reynolds.
It's not real. It is not fucking real.
Shirt is on brand.
Australia does not exist.
It's just that simple.
It
isn't real. Can't you delusional fucks get that through your thick skulls? It isn't real. It doesn't exist. Get over it. It's not a real place.
I love how passionate he is about
you
this.
You janky-ass cunt weaves are really beginning to get on my nerves. You really are.
Nerves.
You think that
janky-ass cunt weaves
nonsensical place actually exists? There's no proof that it exists.
No proof.
There's no sense in thinking that it could ever possibly be a real place.
That makes sense.
Pause.
Yet you all still.
Thank you. First of all, I think this dude's totally in on the grift.
Yeah, I thought he was for a long time too.
He's just going like this over and over again. He's totally play acting for this. Second, the most prominent photo in his little collage in the background, is that just like a thinner, younger him?
Probably.
Pretty sure that's just him, like 3 years ago.
Before Australia caused him all this stress and anxiety and weight gain. Before that caused him these issues.
I mean, it's led to lots of issues. He's wearing a Bad Guy Inc. shirt. He's about 20 pounds heavier.
The best is when he talks about how they can't be real because they have the dumbest accents in the world and they just can't. Like he says it with his accent, and I say it's brilliant. I'm not sure which video that one's in.
On his nerves.
It does. It gets on his nerves.
Scurvy.
Australia is real. No, it's not. It's not real. It's a fantasy. It's no more real than Narnia or Middle Earth.
Middle Earth.
Or the weird place where the Teletubbies live.
Kind of looks like a Teletubby, like an angry, drunk Teletubby.
They filmed that in Scotland. You take it back.
Australia. It isn't a real place.
If you say something enough times, it's true.
You claim it was discovered by Captain Cook. You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds as legit as Captain Hook, as Captain Birdseye, and Colonel Sanders. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to anyone who has a slight
I mean, their spices are more secret than Australia.
In their brains. It's nonsense to think that Australia could be a real place. Have you ever heard of anywhere else with so many deadly animals and strange-looking different things that are nowhere else in the world?
Middle Earth. He already said it.
I mean, the collage is all
spiders bigger than birds. How does that happen? It doesn't. That's the answer. It doesn't happen. It only seems to happen in Australia because Australia isn't real. If something doesn't exist, then you can make anything up about it.
I mean, that tracks.
Oh, what's
That
next?
actually-
We're gonna have
that actually
penguins
is
that
a
can
logical
fly. Fat people who are fat just because of their genetics.
What?
The Cookie Monster.
All right, this is getting personal. I don't like this guy anymore.
Pansexual people.
It's just him airing his grievances out against the world and tying it all to Australia.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah, it's not real either. Yep, definitely not a real thing.
What's next? What are you going to pretend is real next? None of these things are real. But if Australia's real, then anything could be real.
That's a t-shirt.
Oh my.
If Australia is
If
real,
Australia is
anything
real, then
can
what
be real.
stops these other insane notions from being real as well?
Oh, good. He's
If
taking a
some
breather.
place as insane as
We got
Australia
some
can
coffee worked
exist,
up.
then anywhere can exist.
Book me a ticket to Narnia.
Australia is not a real place. Get that through your thick fucking skulls before you make any more comments to me trying to tell me that you know better than that you live there or whatever other bullshit you're telling yourself. You're drugged up. You're delusional. Australia isn't real. Goodbye. You don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Rag Reynolds, and today
He's back.
I'm making
back.
a very serious
But he's
video
serious this time.
response. There's no joking in this video. This is not a comedy video like some of my other videos. This is
I'll bet he's really
I'm trying
fun
to get
at
a
parties.
serious message across here. I'm responding to someone who goes by the name of Laserbeam. Laser
Tom
with an
had.
2 A's for some reason because he can't spell apparently. But I'm going to call him Laser Tard. And this guy is delusional. He thinks he is from a place that he is not really from. He is clearly just drugged up. And I need to explain some things to him because he does not seem to understand logic, reason. He doesn't like to actually look at facts. He ignores facts. He just goes with his own experiences or mind because he can't stand to think that maybe something he believes might not be true. So today we're going to respond to a video he made.
Oh God, are we gonna have an
Roll the
inception?
clip.
This
Oh.
is like breaking the fourth wall here.
Oh, this dude! I love this dude. I saw this
Yeah.
one.
I don't know. Feels pretty real, eh? I don't know, man. CGI is getting pretty good. It could all be fake.
Let me explain something to you, Laser Tard.
Please explain this.
No.
Guys,
These are hard.
You're not CGI. There is no CGI. That is not what's happening there. Yes, you like to show, oh, I walked outside. That means Australia is real because look at this. There are buildings here, and you can. Oh, it seems real. Okay, I'm not disputing that you live somewhere. I'm not disputing that you can go outside somewhere. You
I don't know. He seems kind of reasonable.
understand
Yeah.
the facts. The facts are you are in New Zealand. You think you're in Australia, but you are in New Zealand and you have been drugged and you have been brainwashed. It is okay. I do not necessarily blame you for that. It is the fault
That's good.
of the
That's
New
generous.
Zealand
He's not
I
victim
might
blaming.
blame you, but not
and that
necessarily.
is who your anger and your hatred and your energy should be directed toward.
I just want to point out this gentleman has 10.4 thousand subscribers on YouTube, and we're still 10 short on Facebook of the people we need so that we can do a live stream.
We're
Something's
doing it
with
wrong.
We're doing
We
it
are
wrong.
doing it wrong.
We need to spout nonsense and vitriol and hatred way more often and just be irrational, overreacting, angry people. All right.
If I'm an actor, I deserve a fucking Oscar because I absolutely nail being Australian.
He's got the accent.
If by nail being Australian, you mean you're delusional, you're drugged up, you're not very
Yankee
smart,
wave.
you've got an annoying fucking accent, then yeah, I guess you nail being Australian. It's not real. It is not real.
We already saw this one.
Australia
I was gonna flash back.
does
Yeah,
not exist.
This guy sounds British, and honestly, I think he's just mad that he got stuck on that crappy old rock. We got this beautiful paradise. I think you're just mad. You're just salty, eh?
Why would I be mad that I didn't live there in this make-believe place? Let's just pretend for a second that Australia is real. Just think for a second about what you're saying. You're trying to say it's a paradise with all those disgusting, poisonous animals, the dangers, the heat,
that don't
the
exist.
accents of the
Don't
locals,
Don't exist.
the location. It's the middle of nowhere, surrounded by half your population are alcoholics. You're a very racist and bigoted country. I mean, there are so many bad things about this place. If
That
we're
doesn't
saying it's real.
exist.
It's not real, but you think it's real. I mean, it's one thing to think it's real after being brainwashed and drugged. That's one thing, and I can completely understand that, and I'm trying to do my best to explain to people what happened. But it's an entirely different thing to actually then think that that place is somehow anything less than awful. That really makes you delusional. You're not just drugged and brainwashed, you are delusional to your core.
I like how everything I've seen so far, no one's given literally any evidence. Nothing. They've just yelled at me and said it's fake.
I have given lots of evidence. I have made so many videos on this subject. I've done so many live streams on this subject, and I've given so many pieces of evidence. I've even written entire chapters about it in this book.
Oh, we saw in a book now.
My latest book, Medium Rare.
It's the latest.
I've written so much about it, given so much evidence. But
Grip,
okay,
baby, grip.
no one's giving me any evidence. Maybe if you're not looking for the evidence. That's why you're ignoring any hints of evidence. You're not looking for it. You
I've
just wanna
decided
try
to
and
become a writer.
make fun of someone you think isn't very smart. Have you ever heard of anywhere else with so many deadly animals and strange-looking different things that are nowhere else in the world?
Africa has lions. It's got rhinos. It's got hippos. It's got giraffes.
Crocodiles?
Well, you can't find them anywhere else. I guess that means Africa ain't being real. Just dismantling your argument. Oh, no, buddy.
My nearest zoo has lions. It has giraffes. So right away, wow, Scotland, we have lions. Africa has lions. So these things are other places. They just are.
Scotland
Kangaroos.
has
I know
lions?
kangaroos in the zoo near me. But we're not even talking about animals like that. We're talking about, like, for example, these huge poisonous spiders the size of birds and stuff like that. You're talking a lot of nonsense. Really. I mean, you're just taking everything right out of context.
I went to Australia. It isn't real. This is part 2 of whatever the hell we just witnessed.
This
That's
is
a
not
good one.
part
I actually watched that video.
two,
It's a good one.
dummy. There are more than 2 parts to this saga. So let me just explain to you how it goes. First up, there was Down With Australia. And at this point, I thought Australia was a real place. And when I made this video, I was very angry about Australia. I thought it was the worst place on earth. And then Australia isn't real. Here's
Earth.
why. And that was part 2. That's when I realized Australia wasn't real. Then we get to the part that you are now calling part 2, which is I went to Australia. It isn't real. And it was my story of that. We're still, I think you can maybe realize we've still not actually reached the first video you watched of mine. Part 4 was a podcast episode I did called The People versus Australia, where I debated a group of Australian girls. We had a conversation.
At least he
about
didn't say
whether or not the
Australian
place exists.
girls, right?
Part
Right, that was
5
scare quotes.
was Australia does not exist, which was the first video you saw with me
Man.
yelling at the camera. Part 6 is Boomerangs Don't Come Back, which is just me kind of singing along to a little song. It's a bit more of a joke. Part 7 is proof that boomerangs don't come back, and that's when I actually got a boomerang and threw it to prove that boomerangs don't actually come back.
I love this guy.
Part 8
Looney Tunes
is
doesn't work,
The bush
so Australia is
kangaroo
not
and
real.
how that proves that Australia isn't real. Part 9 was a You Now debate I did on someone else's channel. And we just had another little conversation about it. Part 10 was
I gotta see the
Australian
Skippy one. I
flu
haven't
is a
seen that.
hoax because the Australian flu obviously was a
Please
hoax.
pause.
Part 11 was
He's got all these committed to memory. The guy knows his material, all right? He knows his own material, and I respect that. Because how many times when we're recording a podcast do we stop and be like, oh, back in
What is
episode
Whatever.
something, we talked about this. And he's got it all committed.
This is why I started like losing my shit just now. Respect the Grift. Hardcore. His latest book. First of all, this dude and Laser Tard are texting back and forth on the side. They're probably secretly being like, got a new video up, can't wait for you to respond to it. Like they're not
I don't think that's the case with these two. I think Laser really does hate this guy.
Maybe,
I really
but
do.
they're both happy for each other's existence
Yes.
because they're both driving each other's views and engagement.
Yes, they're the Republicans and the Democrats, or the Red
Ne-
Sox and the Yankees, or
Right.
Duke and
Next
UNC.
thing-
Like, yeah.
This dude is fucking smart as shit. He, like you said, he's got all of his stuff down. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his audience. He's driving engagement. He went to fucking Australia, turned on a camera for like an hour total of his time there and went, look at all this bullshit they're telling us about. Look at how the lengths they've gone to prove this lie. And then he turned the camera off and he went to all the Australian nightclubs and he had a shit ton of fun and he made more money than it cost him.
And he had debates with Australian women.
Yeah, exactly. This dude.
I mean, look at how much he's plugged for himself in less than 15 minutes. His
doing
new
it
book,
wrong.
which implies that there are
Mhm.
previous books,
Yes.
10 or 11 episodes of his podcast and YouTube channel. He's plugged each one already. He's done a great job promoting himself, and he's got it.
So here's the thing. The last 2 nights, me and the wife have been watching a Netflix documentary about Ashley Madison, about the affairs website, and their motto that they give you in the documentary was "Life's short, have an affair," and it goes over the whole like kind of start of the business and who's involved and interview some people who are on the inside. And I was thinking during this documentary, like, man, if I had just 3 fewer scruples in the exact right place, I could just work for a company like this and make a shit ton of money and sleep well at night and all that. And like, that's this guy to me. Like, if I just decided that I didn't give a shit what the whole world thought about me, except these 9,872 people, I can make a lot of money. So there's a part of me that's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, and that's fair.
There's a part of me that wants to feel that way about him.
You know what? He's got the grift. He's got the good angle. He's got the followers. He's got a book. He's got 11 episodes. You know what he doesn't have? He does not have a purple and blue beard and yellow and green eyebrows done by his daughter out of love.
I don't have that either, though. So technically, there's still nothing in this for me, Tom.
I feel like I'm winning. Well, you could. I can send you the hair chalk and you can have the girls do this. I mean, this could be you next week.
For all intents and purposes, this guy has a paid-for trip to Australia.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's dive back in.
Finish it off.
Another podcast episode, and it was the People versus
16.
Australia round 2, and it was basically a
Round
continuation
2.
of-
Hold on, I'm just catching this. His podcast is titled On the Rag. How is he not canceled?
Because his name is Rag whatever.
I don't think that matters. I
Reynolds?
really I'm feeling bad for Loki Skywalker.
This is actually, no, this is good, because then his next podcast can be Off the Rag.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh goodness, this kind of stuff shouldn't fly. All right.
The best part is that the name Rag, I would totally be like, oh, that's Australian.
Yeah.
I would
there
think
you
that
go.
immediately. I'd be like, oh, this is some Australian short name.
Australia
Hi, I'm
had a
Rag
conversation
Reynolds.
with. And now we're here. There was maybe a couple of other streams here and there where I mentioned things, but those are the main parts. But now we are here. So what you said was most certainly not just part 2. I've given so much evidence across lots of videos. I have a playlist on my channel called Australia with all of these videos that I've made, and they're all there in order. But you clearly didn't do any research into my claims. You just looked at 1 or 2 videos, took out the parts that you thought you could nitpick at best, and said, look how ridiculous this guy is. He's not even giving me any evidence. I gave lots of evidence. Maybe there wasn't as much evidence in those videos. I mean, the I went to Australia video, that wasn't supposed to be undoubtable proof That was an anecdotal experience, and anecdotal evidence isn't really real evidence at all, is it? You just have to take my word for it. My other videos, I give lots of evidence, but
Primary
those
source.
aren't the ones you watch.
I went there and it wasn't real. I'm
Right?
a primary source.
That's my favorite part so far. Is like I went there, but it wasn't. That's not evidence that I went
Right.
there. I feel like that's the biggest piece of the puzzle.
I mean, that's the best part. It's just like, well, he's not wrong, I guess.
He was in New Zealand the whole time. They just faked him.
For some reason.
As someone who has done the flight from America to Australia like 15 times, I wish I had substances in my body that made me imagine shit. This sounds like a good time. I wish there was an option.
You know, I don't appreciate you making light of something as serious as people being drugged on the plane over to where they think they're going to Australia, but they're actually being drugged and sent into New Zealand. I mean, how insensitive are you to actually joke about something that serious?
Seriously.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You have no word. I have no words. Moving on.
No one gave me any evidence. This guy didn't even give pictures of the plane. No evidence. But let's believe him because he shouts at me. Actually, believe me because I'm shouting at you.
As I already said, I gave lots of evidence. Lots of it.
Yeah,
You just decided not to look at it for some reason. I don't know what that reason really is. Maybe you did look at it and you just decided to discredit it and to ignore it because you knew I was right. You were too scared to accept the truth. Or maybe you just didn't see it. Maybe you're not very smart. Maybe you didn't understand it or something. I don't know what your reason is.
I hope you enjoyed your class today. The homework is going to be, how do I not become like this guy? That's the homework today.
If you want to become like me, you can read my book, Medium Rare, because why wouldn't you want to be like me? There has never been a better time to stop being you and to start trying to be more like me. And you can do that through my book, Medium Rare, A Guide to Fine Dining and Perfect Timing. And now that I'm done with that shameless plug, please make sure to note down the fact that I did challenge this guy to a debate. But he said no. He said no. Because obviously he is not confident enough in his own positions and his own self to have a conversation about this. He is quite happy to talk into the camera about it and make fun of people like myself, but he has no balls and he has no intentions of actually talking to someone about it. If he did speak to me, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that I would have him come to heel very quickly.
Okay,
Liza,
never mind. They definitely don't love each other.
You are all welcome, society.
Rag Reynolds, the coolest lad you'll find. Rag Reynolds.
All right.
Oh my god, he has a German singing a song.
It's fantastic. I have to read the plug to his book because I pulled up his book on Amazon. And now I want to go see if there are other ones. Ready? Medium Rare, A Guide to Fine Dining and Perfect Timing. Paperback edition by Ryan Rag Reynolds. Nothing is worse than a liar. Bad guys finish first. Cyberbullying isn't real, and neither is Australia. Backwoodsmen have been known to call him a walking prosperity. His contemporaries know him as the man who once divided by zero. And now you can know Rag Reynolds as the man who changed your life. Sit down, relax, light up a good old cigar, and prepare to have your ideas challenged, your mind boggled, and your life improved as Rag Reynolds presents you with a 5-part guide to fine dining and perfect timing, filled with numerous essays, opinions, stories, insightful experiences, and even life advice. So what are you waiting for? There has never been a better time to stop being you and start trying to be more like Rag Reynolds. Wow. $20 for this book. And shipping isn't even covered. Wow. 322 pages. It's got 2 ratings, and they're both 5 stars.
Of course they are, because anyone who wants to rate it less than 5 wouldn't spend their time. It would have left before they finished reading the first paragraph.
I'm pretty sure it's probably him and his mom, right? There are only 2 ratings.
So, hold on. I assumed his book Medium Rare was basically a roundabout way to go after Australia, but it sounds like that's just one of the things.
It does sound like it's
This
just one
guy's
of those
smart.
things.
This
Yeah.
guy's smart, Tom. Because
I
look
hate
at
to
these
say it, but I think you're right. As dumb as he is, he's very smart.
No, he's smart. He's sitting in a piss yellow colored shirt on his couch in wherever, responding to some other Australian who's responding to his videos. But look at this other video right here. I drink Coca-Cola to prove diabetics wrong, which is, I would have thought the reverse of his brand. Like, I thought he would have been like, here's why Coca-Cola is secretly drugging all of us to make us all diabetic to raise more money for big pharma. Like, that's more in line with, you know, the governments are fooling us about Australia. Now the governments are fooling us about, you know, health or something. But he's going the reverse. Like, the government's, he's probably like, diabetes isn't real. It doesn't exist. Like, they actually inject you in the neck when you're sleeping and they just pick targets. Like,
it only exists in Australia with Narnia creatures.
But like,
Only
that's
the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe get to suffer from diabetes, right?
But look, this guy's clearly into other stuff just by this other video. So he's just going. He's just hitting whoever he can. He's playing a numbers game. I mean, he's dividing by zero.
Yeah, no, he is. He's the man that divided by zero. You know what he reminds me of?
Eagerly awaiting his Nobel Prize in mathematics.
Yes. He reminds me of someone I wanted to talk about on the show a long time ago. I put it on that list. Brian Bishop. Did you ever go see any Brian Bishop videos?
No. You
Okay.
have one linked in that list. I haven't done it yet, Tom. I'm sorry.
So Brian Bishop is probably the most brilliant viral video creator I have ever seen in my life.
So I'm gonna hate him.
That's his point. His whole brand is on making himself utterly loathed and despisable. The videos he watches are such nonsense, but he is brilliant at it. He edits Joe Rogan and Jake Paul and other presences on YouTube, other content creators who have made it. He edits their videos and slices it up and gets in the background and makes it look like they're interviewing him on Places and makes their reactions to other things look like reactions to him. He is brilliant. All he does is shorts. Dude, he's so good at it.
I've probably seen this guy then before, but that's
First time my wife saw one, she was like, "Is that real?" And she wasn't sure. I'm not offline. Don't you fib to me.
Fantastic.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Drug addicts are weak. I'm currently developing an addiction to methamphetamines just so I can show everyone how easy it is to quit.
Wow. It's an interesting way to self-teach.
It's a win-win. Either I kick the habit, which I will, and we could all stop glamorizing recovering addicts, or I could spend the rest of my life in a motel smoking crystal meth away from my family.
Like, you're really just doing just for the struggle.
Sorry, what the fuck did you say? Drug addicts are...
He just does videos like this, and they get more and more controversial. It's mind-blowing how
I'm currently developing an addiction
how
to
crazy some of
methamphetamines
these
just so I
get.
can show everyone how easy.
I mean, that's actually kind of funny though. Like, if you have the wherewithal to be like, oh, this is obviously fake, it's just very well produced.
As long as you know that going in, yes.
Funny.
But I've had people, like, I shared a link with someone, and I get the response I got back with, "Is this what you watch on YouTube? This guy's an a-hole." And I was like,
I mean, he is though.
he is, but it's his brand. He's doing it on purpose to piss you off and make you angry, and it's just his brand. He's just a viral marketing
Our
genius.
kids are too
None of it's
coddled
real.
for the real world. What happened to all the tough kids, huh? Where did they go? This is my son's bully. I'm teaching him how to fight. Uncle Sam says I can't hit my son. Fine, asshole. Philip can. Look at this freak. He loves this shit. Oh no, what if he gets hurt? I don't care. That's what life insurance is for. I can't lose. But so help me God. My son will.
Trust me, I'm right.
Right? He does stuff like this. There's one he talks about weight loss, and I don't remember.
This is
I
like
wish I could find it.
This is like your guy who wrote the book who was just like, and then I actually dropped the kid because you got to
Yes.
learn.
Yep, that's exactly how to traumatize your kids. That's
You know what
exactly
this
what
guy
this is.
You were
reminds
at
me-
like 300.
What this guy reminds me of. This is old school, and this guy is nothing compared to the guy he reminds me of. There was this old he looked kind of similar too, like curly, like afro and glasses and all that. And he called himself the Amazing Racist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's kind of a provocative name.
Well,
okay.
He actually goes out and does like kind of racist things. Like he walks into like dry cleaners and like expects certain like things from them just based on like the owner's race. He's like some sort of like, Eastern Korean or whatever. He actually I assume it's real, maybe it's not, on video picked up some like illegal immigrants from places and said he had a job for them, and then he started driving up to the ICE building and they all like jump out and start freaking out and running away. He would do stuff like this and put it on camera, and he got a lot of views because like you can't believe it. And
it's the shock value, right?
Racist. This must have been like 15 or 20 years ago though that this guy was doing stuff like this.
I missed all that.
This guy semi reminds me of that, except he's like faking it. He's not actually doing it. I think the other guy was actually doing it.
Yeah, that makes that one worse.
Yeah, way worse. Gives you an idea of the kind of humor
I
had
was
when I was
315 pounds and then lost 130 in 3 weeks.
That is just fucking preposterous. Nobody does that.
Well, I did. Most people think you need a calorie deficit, but I started by trimming the real fat. Useless organs.
That's insane.
You're insane for thinking the human body needs 15 feet of intestine. I have 8 and I feel great.
This crazy fuck.
And if you keep calling me crazy, I'm going to come over there and stuff these fucking headphones down your throat.
Come on, pussy. And you were at like 300 plus pounds when you got your fattest.
Yeah.
He does a good job with this, right?
Yeah, he does. It's good production. To me, this is obviously fake, though. Like, this is not how normal humans would react to these situations.
Well, yes, but he does a really good job. But if you're only getting one in a short burst with no thing, like I said, a lot of people I've shared this with are like, wow, like, what the hell, man?
The importance of following people that you disagree with.
Let me be clear. A follow from me is not an endorsement. It's a warning that I do not like you, that I'm following you in real life. By the time you get that notification, I know where you eat. I know where you sleep. I know how many shits you take a day. And everyone in the comments is going to find out how much of a loser you are.
If you want to insult other people, I'm not going to tolerate that.
I called Greta Thunberg a cunt the other day.
So,
a picture of her breakfast.
That's where I draw the line.
You just earned yourself a follow.
The importance of following people that you disagree with.
You just earned yourself a follow. Oh, yeah, he's so it's a lot like what we think this Rag Reynolds is doing, right? Like, this is just intensely viral marketing. It's all bullshit. It's all a grift. But he does it well, and he's 100% committed, and so he gets to be wildly successful. We're doing this wrong. Like, we really are doing this all wrong.
How do we do this while still keeping our integrity?
Well, that's the problem. We gotta say screw our integrity. That's the problem. We're clinging to our integrity. We gotta sell out. How do we do this? What's our new business model?
Man, the last minute just gave us a bunch of potential episodes for this article. Like, we've got to sell out. How do we do this? Or screw our integrity.
I want to go buy this book now. Like, I want to be the fourth person that's ever bought a copy of this book.
No, don't do it. You can probably. I will endorse pirating this book. Do not give this shit money.
That endorsement is not an endorsement by Two Dads Talking Podcast.
You just earned yourself an endorsement.
You just earned yourself an endorsement. Oh, goodness.
I don't want to give money to someone who just sits down on his couch and yells about proving a negative. I'm not about that life.
I mean, yeah, but he does it so well. He's made himself something out of it, and he's made his money. And a little part of me is kind of like, I cannot believe this guy found this angle and found this niche and did this a-hole and made money off it and is wildly successful. And then the other part of me is just like,
yeah, not to beat the dead horse, but this is like that Ashley Madison thing we were watching. Basically, the CEO was shameless. He just knew there were men out there who want to cheat on their wives, but not actually break up their marriage. So created something around that, and then they did shameless marketing. Like, they shot like promo videos for commercials, and he went on multiple talk shows and a lot of times brought his own wife and basically said, yeah, like there's lots of people out there who just want to have a little fun and they don't really want to break up their marriage. And he was arguing that this like saves marriages because it keeps guys from being like bored or disengaged and all that stuff. And like had his
like
wife
the re-energizing argument, or it makes you pay more attention.
Yeah.
to
And then he had his wife out there. He claimed that he actually was monogamous, completely and in a happy marriage. And his wife was out there with him too. And of course, it turns out later he's not at all. But this is like that to me. It's like there are going to be people who they're waiting to glom onto something, and they probably will. But you're taking their money. Like you're knowing that they're going to give you their money. Like it's sort of like enabling. You're part of the problem. And the philosopher logician in me is like, no, I can't respect you if you're doing something logically inconsistent at the same time. I can't do it. You're muted, dude. Unmute thyself, Thomas. You're still muted. It's showing me you're muted. There's literally a little mute button right next to you. I don't know what you're saying. Your blue beard looks great, though. Can you even hear me? You're not saying anything. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Here. And Tom's still saying stuff, acting like I can hear him. I swear I cannot get over the fact that you look like you just got out of a European football match. Okay, so good, you can hear me. But I can't hear you. You still have the little mute icon. Is your stuff plugged in? Your button turned on? You know what? Is it something with the tab, with the audio on the tab? You have to stop sharing. Did you stop sharing? Because it's still showing.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Now I can hear you because the little icon's off now.
You.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What, you can't hear me now?
All right, now I can hear you. Ooh,
Okay,
that
good.
was fun.
What did you do?
My mic got unplugged somehow. It broke the connection. It was still plugged in. I unplugged it and replugged it. And
That
then
was
it
weird.
told me it was reconnected. I said to unmute it. So I have no idea which tab, but it swapped my input with my mic and my output with my headphones. It swapped them. And when I swapped them back, my mic just disconnected.
Well, that's fine. You said a lot that I couldn't hear, so.
It probably wasn't very important.
Hopefully,
You know what is important?
Hopefully
is
not, because
Brian
it's gone.
Bishop's best workout advice. I'm sure this is important.
It's gone forever.
I was at the gym last night and the lady at the front desk told me to enjoy my workout. Is that a fucking joke? I canceled my membership on the spot. You think I'm here to have fun? I'm wearing a diaper right now. What I'm about to do to myself should be illegal. If these aren't the worst 90 minutes of my entire life, then I didn't train harder than last time. Enjoy my workout? No. Enjoy cleaning my piss, vomit, and pre-workout off the squat rack. I was at the gym last night and the lady at the front desk.
I mean, he's got something here, right?
No, he does. It's perfect. Every video is 27 seconds long.
Yep. Oh, he's got a
It's-
20-minute one here.
Well, but I say it's like attention span level for most of the internet nowadays. You watch something, it's funny, you move on. If it starts going more than a minute, you're like, it better be good, otherwise I'm going to stop watching.
Yep.
That's a problem, Tom.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that
we
case,
go
we're
more
done.
than a minute. I don't know. Feels good. I mentioned
Feels good.
Ashley Madison, which I watch with my wife, which if you just say it that way and that's it, it's kind of weird. So it's good. We're going to leave it that way. We have your future class action lawsuit face going on right now. We have On the Rag Reynolds. We didn't even get into all the reasons why it upsets me. I just said disproving the negative. I mean, like, I found an article that actually showed, like, some woman on Facebook who first proposed the idea back in, like, 2006 or whatever. That was kind of interesting. But that was the second one, you know, where they all just sailed them off the edge of the flat Earth. So.
Of the flat Earth. Yep, just dropped them off the edge of the disc.
I love his exact arguments / I suppose anybody's could sort of be applied to literally anywhere. Hey, guess what? Ohio doesn't exist. Yeah, it's actually just Indiana. Like it's like Indiana, like you know it, but it has this big like cancerous bulge to the east. There's no Ohio. They just drew it that way because the conquering American colonialists happened to be super rich and paid a lot of money and had some legal deed restriction that said you have to call this Ohio even though it's not official yet. And all the governments were like, oh shit, we have to keep this going forever. Never mind all the money it'll cost, diminishing returns, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. It's once the fraud has begun, it needs to be perpetuated ad nauseum.
Right? Like we're not New York, we're not LA. You gotta have this like some sort of catch-all, like random 5 out of 10 everything. I do kind of like the Australia thing though, like, oh, they've got all these weird animals, and like, he probably goes into like, how come all the people only live on the sides? It's because it's the Hunger Games, and anyone who goes in, they off. Like it checks out. Never mind the fact that it's a gigantic fucking island on the edge of the proverbial world, and it's
allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
It could just be a fishbowl experiment perpetuated by New Zealand. You don't know.
I much prefer the fishbowl experiment. That sounds more realistic to me because that allows for an actual culture to develop, commerce, like buildings, like the Sydney Opera House, for example. I just don't like the whole, you're actually being flown somewhere else. Like, okay, then, like, have I ever actually been to Florida? Is Florida even real? Right. I flew on a plane there, but I guess I wasn't, like, looking out the window the whole time, tracking the sun and the stars with my sextant to figure out where we were actually going.
Well, one of my favorite ones with him is when he's talking about flights to Australia, and he's like, no, when you fly to Australia, they drug you on the airplane, and they make you think that you're in the air for much longer than you really are because of these drugs. They just fly circles around in the air to kill time. And then they land you somewhere in New Zealand, and they've got paid actors. And he goes really into depth about how they perpetuate the fraud on flights. Like something special. He's all
this
in.
Is like the mind control prison thing we talked about where like you secretly
that'd be so much easier.
Right. Like, we were all plugged in. We all thought that we were on a flight for X amount of time. We all thought we were at this place for like a week or whatever partying, but really it's just it.
Yep.
I just don't understand why we can't carry this to like future dystopian. There's actually only 5,000 people existing on Earth, and it was wiped out by nuclear war 72 years ago. We actually live in a giant wall glass dome that projects a real sky. And then, we go on planes and they really do fly. But we just kind of we actually get plugged into these things that tell us all this stuff happened. And it's a really sophisticated AI computer program that knows how to line it all up. Because thankfully, one community set that up before the nuclear war.
Yeah.
And all the planes that you see flying in the sky, it's just like the sphere in Las Vegas. Like it's just a really high definition picture just of a plane flying across the sky. And that's why everybody sees the same plane, even though they have different perspectives, because it's that.
The sphere is really awesome. It's kind of a side note. It is a really awesome thing.
Cool. Yeah. I was
sitting the tram past it every day I was there, and I'm just looking at it.
We could just do how much does it cost to do a Two Dads Talking spot on that thing?
Oh, I'm sure it would probably just be our salary, just my annual salary.
Probably more. Combine what we make in a year of everything.
It's got to be up in the high six figures. It would have to be at a minimum.
I'd probably have to sell mine. We'd have to sell our houses.
I'm not selling this house. I'm not doing it. I fought for this thing. I'm keeping it as long as I can. I'm not planning on selling this.
I hear you have a friend on the other side. You can put in a good word.
We actually received in our mailbox a card from one of our neighbors, kind of welcoming us to the home and, saying, hey, these are our names, our phone numbers. We have our daughter is this many years old. Hope you guys, like your neighborhood, looking forward to know you. That was super nice. I've never had anyone do that before. It was very sweet.
Yeah. What do they want?
Yeah, right. I think they're Australian.
Those fuckers perpetuating the lie. I hope the money's worth it.
And does this mean that Bluey is the enemy? Because Bluey's got me convinced.
I actually thought that Bluey's supposed to be Australian. Like, that one's easy because it's already made up to begin with.
It's just animated. Yeah, that's fair.
I can't believe. Well, I mean, if you're going to create a kid's show to buck all the trends, it should come from the place that does not exist, because that's the catch-all. That's one thing he said that was logically consistent. When you have a place that doesn't exist, you could say anything you want about it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
That's why we have Canterlot, right? That's why we have My Little Ponies and Canterlot. Like, you just put anything you want there. You don't have to explain it.
Well, the best part was we actually watched we watched the Chronicles of Narnia, the movie with the girls over this last weekend, and like, that was a good movie. I mean,
yeah. Well, the books were good, so the movie's got to be at least decent, right?
Right. Well, but just little things that I just realized this most recent time, like this is just random, but when the three of them, Sans, Edmund, get their gifts from Santa Claus as things are starting to melt, all of their gifts are they have sort of a dichotomy to them, like they're opposites. They all get something that is defensive or helpful, but then they also get something that's offensive and potentially violent, because Peter gets the sword and the shield, Susan gets the bow and arrow and the horn, where wherever you are, if you sound it, help will find you. And then Lucy gets the healing potion and the dagger, with the understanding of like, hope you never have to use this. And I think one time maybe in like Voyage of the Dawn Treader, she actually does have to use it maybe. But like, the point is that all of these kids who are the like kings and queens of Narnia, they're granted both something that's potentially violent and something that is aiding or helpful or healing. So I thought C.S. Lewis very deliberately was kind of like saying, hey, you need both to really be a great person in this land, kind of thing. I just thought it was interesting. I never really thought about it before.
Oh, he was great with his symbolism. I just finished reading his essays and the collected works of his essays, and just, yeah, he was just really on point, and he made an effort to make it real and to do a good job of it. And he was one of those guys who wrote with a purpose. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then the best part was apparently he was an atheist until he had a long chit chat one time with J.R.R. Tolkien. And apparently that was what spun him up on thinking about alternative viewpoints.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently. And it only turned, C.S. Lewis into like maybe the greatest modern apologist of the last 1,000 years.
Did you know that John Ronald Reuel Tolkien almost died from a spider bite when he was like 4 or 5 years old?
I actually maybe heard that.
Yeah. We were almost deprived of so much of our culture and so much of the things that he inspired.
Probably an Australian spider.
Probably was, yeah. Probably some fictitious, made-up, imaginary Australian spider.
Government experimental
New Zealand
spider.
Government spider. So, I mean, if we're going to track the logic, does that mean that we blame New Zealand for all of this hate and anger and animosity he has toward Australia?
Or the Brits.
Or the Brits, yeah, I guess, depending on which theory you subscribe to.
I mean, the Brits are a bigger bad guy.
Yeah.
I just don't... isn't there a spot, supposedly, where you can see the Australian coastline from New Zealand and vice versa?
I would imagine so.
I thought there were a couple of spots where they were like, yeah, there's something there, kind of thing.
I don't know. I would imagine so. They're not that far. If you can see Russia from Alaska, then I would imagine you can probably see it. I don't know.
I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I want to know what Senor Rog Reynolds thinks about, binoculars.
You know what? You could probably find out if you bought his book, Medium Rare, A Guide to Fine Dining in Perfect Timing. Available on Amazon.com.
Stop it. There's this magical word, Tom. I'm about to drop it on you. Are you still sitting down? Priorities. That's the word, is priorities.
Oh, I found the reviews. Ready?
All two.
All two of them. They've got both of them
Okay,
listed
here
here. I
we
finally
go.
got
Is
it
it-
to load.
This is the first one, not Rag Reynolds.
The first one is not Rag Reynolds. The first one is someone named
I mean,
Jamie McGill.
That's the user. Okay, that's
She's in the United Kingdom.
of course
in
she
2020
is. Or
she
he
wrote
is.
this.
Is this a she? It could
Oh,
be.
I don't know. It doesn't say. It could be a he. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
what
there was a
Jamie,
professional skateboarder named Jamie.
that's true.
Spelling. Yeah.
What Jamie has to say, a 5-star review, just amazing. This man is the king of book writing, YouTube, and pretty much everything. His views are clearly well researched, and if I could rate it higher, I would.
I have seen his proof for dividing by 0, and it is legit.
Yeah.
This
So
is
that's-
totally him.
Totally,
That's
well,
totally-
probably,
totally.
but the thing that makes me doubt it is the second review here.
Oh,
The second
no.
review is by Rag Reynolds. He gave himself 5 stars and said, I
I am
suppose someone has to rate it. Oh, that's fantastic.
I think
Wow.
I'm wondering if this dude is like trying to be funny. Like he's just trying, like he decided to just be a moron and just be like, well, I'm just gonna be obviously stupid.
He divided by
But
0.
then-
He does not need to be funny, okay?
But then
Like all the
people
Chuck
actually
Norris
started believing
jokes
him, and he's
clearly
like,
apply to him.
well, I'll just keep doing this. Like to normal people, I'm obviously joking, but to these people, I'm not, and I'll just make money off of it, and I'll have fun. I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to leave a review here. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh my god! Make sure you include a picture of yourself so we can get the whole personality.
With the hair like this.
When you
Oh,
look like
goodness.
me, you know I'm serious.
Clearly, this is the hair of the king of reviews and YouTube and everything.
Okay, please don't make me sit through you doing this.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I won't do that. All right. What else?
Do it.
What else do we got? What do we need to do?
Nothing, man. We've been doing this for an hour. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
All
I
right.
don't know.
All right. Well, then we can go ahead and end this. Do we want to get through some dad jokes? Do we want to bypass that tonight? Are they fictitious or
I
we
don't
just want to
know.
call it?
I don't know. Let me think.
Yeah, if you gotta think too hard, we'll just quit. We'll just bypass.
No,
That's
I can.
okay.
All right. Well, I thought of one random that has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, go for it.
How many apples grow on trees?
A whole bunch.
All of them.
Ah, nice. That's good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you know what Australia's biggest export is?
Nothing, because they don't exist. wait. Okay, no. Let me try.
All right. You
Well,
can
and I'll not do the normal thing where I sit here silent for like 80 seconds trying to think of every possibility.
We're gonna lose our viewers.
No, I know.
You gotta be faster than this.
Kangaroo courts,
Oh, boomerangs, which are also their biggest import.
yes. Wait, no, they don't come back.
That's right. Rag Reynolds proven.
Proven.
Shoot. Okay. All right. I'll give you a different one. Why wasn't Jesus born in modern day Australia? You didn't like the first one, so I got to fire a second one.
I don't know.
Because they'd never be able to find 3 wise men and a virgin.
Well, that's not. You can apply that to anywhere.
Well, of course, but we're talking about Australia, Doug. That's why it was able to work.
Well, that's
here.
not helpful. It's supposed to be Australia specific.
Did I claim to be helpful? All right. So, Rag Reynolds tries to go to Australia. He gets stopped at the desk for immigration, and the officer asked him if he had a criminal record. And Rag Reynolds' response was, "Oh, is that still required?" There we go. All right. Now I feel better. I don't have to tell the Ostronaut joke all over again.
No,
'cause I
don't do
felt
that.
bad
We
if
already
I
have
do
that. We
twice.
have that on recording. It's fine.
We did. All right. I'm going to go leave this review on Amazon right quick.
Do it.
Beardy, we miss you. I want stories. Please get a hold of us. Please let us know Rag Reynolds, I'd like you to show me on the Australia doll where it touched you, just so I can better understand your trauma. Everyone else.
There's another mating joke in here somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure that there is. Everyone else, we've got content going back up on Patreon now that I am back online and we're doing things. We're getting back into pace. Expect at least one odd or one upload of some sort of week. The Dad Journal is live now. I'm supposed to go live on Friday, but I put the first episode up tonight and just made it available. There will be a second episode going up next week. We have got my guide to making money at poker instead of losing it at poker goes live tomorrow morning. And we've got a bunch of other content on there. Doug does some deep dives on topics that we've brought up in previous episodes. The one on the expansion of the universe is still probably one of my favorite things that we've put up, podcast episodes or odds. I've listened to that thing like 3 times and I just like it.
Something wrong with you.
That's clearly, there's no debating that. Have you seen my purple beard today?
It's really honestly bothering me that your eyebrows are different shades of green. Like, it's really messing with me the whole time.
My daughter asked, "You want them the same color?" I was like, "No, give me 2 different colors," and she did. She did.
Like, it's a good thing the camera doesn't actually see me going like this.
Making your eyes cross
the whole time. Like, I'm not looking at you. Your eyes are down here. I know I can't stop.
So follow us on Facebook. We're just a couple of follows away from being able to live stream there instead of through my profile and then uploading it to Facebook. YouTube, we should have access to live stream starting tomorrow night. That should be official and should be done, so we can probably start doing it there. But I'd really rather keep it on the social media site that we've kind of built up a little bit. Check out our Patreon page. We do have an awful lot there for literally the price of a cup of coffee a month. $3 gets you access to everything. And a huge shout out to Justin, our newest Week 11 Patreon member, and to Charles, the OG Week 11 Patreon member. You guys are both awesome, and we really do appreciate both of you. Thank you guys for listening. Yep. Gotta love the OG. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. Next week, I'll try to get Doug to do something with his beard and hair instead of leaving it like organic and natural. And stay tuned. I'll share my Amazon review on our Facebook account and our Instagram account. I'll make sure I share that after I write it, and we'll get that out there for you to see. Thanks for listening. Remember, Australia is real, and we'll catch you next time.
Tom's reviews are not the official position of the 2 Days Talking Podcast.
Oh, your intro to last week's episode, by the way, I got comments that it was absolute fire and it was great. Like I've gotten text messages from people loving the intro. Yeah, I was like, I kind of had a hand in writing that one.
I was gonna say, no, I'm just the mouthpiece.
You were a great mouthpiece. You were a fantastic mouthpiece.
That is the 3rd best compliment anyone's ever given me.
Thank you all for listening. Talk nicely to your neighbors about us. Talk nicely to us about your neighbors and
everybody.
Next time. And everybody. Good night.
Later.